Hello friends, and welcome to my channel where we mainly discuss thrillers on Thursdays, and today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated books, movies, and TV shows of 2019. I wanted to talk about all of those three sections. Even though my channel is obviously mainly focused on books, I have been reviewing a fair amount of TV shows and movies within the horror genre, so I wanted to hear what you guys are interested in. We're obviously focusing on books, movies, and TV shows that are more on the creepy side, so maybe horror, maybe thrillers. This is obviously not an all-encompassing list. These are just the ones that I'm personally really interested in, but if you do think that, there's something missing on this list that you think I might like, or just something you'd like to see me review, then definitely let me know. First, we're gonna start off with books, and I was kind of surprised because I only have 3 books to talk about, and then I have a lot of movies and a fair amount of TV shows, so this is the shortest section, but I am very excited about these 3. First, I'm looking over at my descriptions, is The Familiars by Stacey Halls, and our protagonist's name is Fleetwood Shuttleworth, interesting name. She's 17 years old. I'm guessing this takes place back in time because it has to do with witchcraft accusations. She's only 17, but she's pregnant now for the 4th time, and all of her previous children have died. I don't know if they've been stillborn or what's happened, but this young woman named Alice says that she can help her deliver her baby and have it survive. So I'm guessing that in the story, Alice either is a witch or maybe she ends up being accused of witchcraft, but I love a good witchy book, and I have no idea if this is supernatural or if it's just about her being accused of being a witch, but either way, I'm very excited. Next is Inception by Josh Malerman, and as much as I loved Bird Box, I have not read any other books by him, and he has a new book coming out. Inception by Josh Malerman comes out April 23rd, 2019, and I believe this is told from 2 points of view, one a boy, one a girl, and they're both at schools, I think it is, where this kind of cultish leader separates them. So boys have no idea girls exist, girls have no idea boys exist. Well, I guess that sounds disturbing when I say it, but when I saw the cover and I was like, ooh, this cover looks so creepy, I admit I was a little surprised reading the summary, just because as awful as that sounds, it doesn't sound that disturbing, so I'm curious if this is going to be a horror novel or not. And then the final book I'm looking forward to is Growing Things by Paul Tremblay. Does anybody else, whenever they hear his name, part of my brain always thinks that Jacob Tremblay maybe got really inspired by Room and decided to become an author? I know that doesn't make sense, but I just can't see his name and not think that. But I've never read anything by Paul Tremblay, and I feel like he's become such a famous horror novelist lately, but I hear very hit and miss things about his books. So if there's one Paul Tremblay book you think I should start off with, definitely let me know. But this is an anthology and it has 19 pieces of short fiction, so I'm very excited about that one. Now we're gonna get into the movies, and I have 5 that I'm gonna be talking about here. I will say YouTube, the ads definitely get to me, and they know me very well because they're advertising a new Christina Ricci Lifetime movie where it's back in the day and she's a reporter trapped in an insane asylum. I don't know what that's called. I don't know if it looks good or not. I don't have it on the movies list, but I will definitely be watching that. But anyway, the first movie coming out in 2019 that I'm very excited about, that I'm sure many of you are as well, is Us, and that comes out March 22nd. I was a big fan of Get Out. I don't know a single person who wasn't. I feel like when I sit down and watch movies with my family, there's always at least one person, and it's always different, who dislikes whichever movie we're watching, but this is one that's just universally pleasing. But I'm sure you've all seen Get Out already, so I'll shut up about that. But Us is his newest movie, and I highly recommend going ahead and watching the trailer, because even the trailer was creeping me out. This is about Lupita Nyong returns to a beautiful beachfront home where she grew up as a child. She's haunted by a traumatic experience from her past, and she's growing very concerned that something is going to happen to her family, and then one day people who look exactly like each of them show up at their house, and I'm assuming it looks like in the trailer attack them, but it looks so disturbing. The imagery is just terrifying, so I cannot wait. Then on April 5th, we have Pet Sematary. Now and this is a little terrible, I've never read the book, I've never seen the original movie, I really don't know much about it at all, but I went to go see Aquaman, and the Pet Sematary trailer came on before it. I will say Aquaman, it was fun, but I wasn't a huge fan. But anyway, the Pet Sematary trailer did really suck me in, and that just looks like a good all-around fun horror movie. And now we're gonna get into my most anticipated movie of 2019, and I'm also most worried about this one because it's a series that's very close to my heart, and that is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and this comes out on August 9th, 2019. Now, I am not clear. I looked a little bit at this online. I don't think that this is animated. I think it's with real people, and it's about a group of young people attempt to solve a mystery that involves a series of spectacularly horrific deaths in their small hometown. So I'm assuming that each of these deaths is maybe based off of a different story from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I do really hope that somehow, even if this isn't animated, they're able to incorporate some of those creepy images that terrified all of us when we were growing up. And I also really hope it's not PG. I understand that they're children's books, but at the same time, I think when they were very popular was when, for example, when I was a kid, and now that we're grown up, you know, we can appreciate a really disturbing PG-13. Then we have In the Tall Grass, which is coming out sometime in 2019, but I don't think they've said the exact date. This is with Patrick Wilson. I believe it's based off of a Stephen King novel, and it's about a brother and sister are driving through Kansas during their road trip. Well, suddenly they hear calls for help coming. They stop to investigate and get lost in a field of tall grass. I'm reading this now, and the reason I put it on the list was because I love movies that have to do with cornfields, and I'm realizing very obviously based on the title, I don't think they're lost in a cornfield, they're lost in a tall grass field. Anything to do with tall cornfields, which it sounds like this actually does not, I just immediately love. I think it's because my mom's from Iowa, both of my parents are from the Midwest, so even though I personally despise corn, I just love looking at it. And the idea of just people being trapped in it for an entire 2 hours and sitting there and watching it just sounds wonderful to me. But even though this is not corn, I'm still very excited. And the final movie, and this is another one that probably almost on par with Scary Stories I'm really excited for, and that is The Lighthouse. This is coming out sometime in 2019, but I don't think the official date has been announced. This stars Patrick Robertson, Robert Pattinson, and this is from the same director as The Witch. Now, aside from it being a black and white dark fantasy horror film, there's not a ton of information out there in terms of the plot, but I really enjoyed The Witch. I do wish I had not seen it in theaters because I really needed some subtitles. The fact that it was a slower movie and I couldn't understand 50% of what they were saying made it a difficult viewing experience, but I did love the ending, and I'm really interested to see what else this director can come up with. And I do love Robert Pattinson. I think he's made some great indie movies, really good actor, even though people generally still just associate him with Twilight. Now we're gonna get into the TV shows I'm really excited about, and I just realized that number one on my list, I have a True Detective Season 3, which is out right now, and I know I said that I wasn't going to talk about, you know, second or third seasons of things, so I forgot. Oh well. So I have seen the first 2 episodes at this point. I believe that's how many that are out. And for a brief plot with no spoilers, our protagonist is Mahershala Ali, and it takes place within 3 different time periods. And in the earliest time period, he's a cop, and 2 children in Arkansas have vanished. And in the second and third timeline in the future, all you really know is that it sounds like whoever went to jail for their disappearance or whatever probably was wrongly accused, although it's not super clear. I have to say I'm liking it so far. I love all the actors in it, and I feel like technically it is very good, but it's also just a touch on the slow side, just a touch. And you guys know I like slow movies, books, and TV shows, so that doesn't generally bother me, but for me this is just a little bit too slow. So as much as I'm really recommending you all watch it because it is fantastic, I do hope it picks up the pace a little bit. And then we have I Am the Night, which comes out on January 28th, 2019. I love me some Chris Pine, and like most people who are interested in true crime, I find the Black Dahlia murder very interesting. This has both, so I'm incredibly excited. For a brief summary, it says Fauna Hodel, or Hodel, who was given away by her teenage birth mother, begins to investigate the secrets of her past, following a sinister trail that swirls ever closer to a legendary Black Dahlia murder. On the one hand, YouTube and MyTV will not stop advertising this to me. Even though this comes out pretty soon, I'm sure I'm gonna see the trailer probably pop up 50 more times before I X out of it. But you know what? Their marketing is working because I'm very excited. Then the next TV series I'm excited about is Locke Key, which is coming out in 2019. I don't have the exact date, I couldn't find that, but I believe it's gonna be coming out on Netflix. Now, I'm sure you all are very familiar with Locke & Key, the graphic novels. They were super popular on BookTube back in the day, and I love them as well. And as I'm sitting here talking about it, I don't remember looking at the graphic novel, but I know that I absorbed all the content. So I'm wondering if maybe I listened to an audiobook version of this. I'm not positive. And I also really can't remember most of the plot. I'm also not clear if it's going to be animated or with real people, but either way, I was sad that the Locke Key TV series fell through back in the day. I forget what exactly happened. I think maybe only one episode was ever aired. I'm not sure, but either way, I'm very excited. And finally, in 2019, the exact date has not been announced, Nosferatu is going to be coming to AMC. So, although Nosferatu was not, one of my favorite horror books of all time, I think I maybe gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I still did really, really love it, and I adore Zachary Quinto, and he is going to be playing the villain. You can Google image and I believe find a picture of what he's going to look like, and it's interesting because obviously I would have no idea looking at that it is Zachary Quinto, and I have a feeling that I might actually end up enjoying this more as a series than I did as a book. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please let me know, are you all interested in reading or watching any of these? Do you think there's anything I missed that's coming out in 2019 that you think I might really enjoy? I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I'll see you all next Thursday. Bye.